Guys, big announcement today. The fragrance that I've been working on, one of the fragrances that I've been working on, is finally launching. And I'm going to let you know all about it, as much as I can tell you, all coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about this project I've been working on. So initially, this fragrance, one of the two fragrances that I've been working on, wasn't going to launch until the end of the year, but somehow, miraculously, it's launching in August. So it's launching in August exclusively at Harrods. There is an event there that I'm going to be doing at Harrods, a very limited space, and I'm going to give you all the details about it. But I didn't really know that they had publicized this event. And I buy from Harrods too, so I received an email, the email from Harrods that said, come join us for fragrance events. And there was a lot of events that they had posted on that one page. And way at the bottom, they've announced this event. And they've mentioned me, because I worked on this fragrance with Jusbox. So Jusbox approached me earlier last year, and since I shot a video with them in their store in Milan, you can find that video. It's a brother and sister who run Jusbox. They're also connected to Costume National. I really ended up liking both of them, and I offered to go to their store and shoot a video. So yeah, go catch that video. But they kind of enjoyed the time together, and we had a dinner, and I told them I worked in the music business, and this is a music-inspired brand, Jusbox. If you haven't really discovered this house, please go catch some of my videos to learn about the brand, and also go find out discover some of their fragrances. So earlier last year they asked me, it kind of didn't go anywhere, and then last year, I believe it was spring sometime, Jusbox had an event at ZGO Perfumery, and Andrea was here and doing an event, and then at that time I was asked if I would like to collaborate on a fragrance with them. So I've got some notes down. I'm going to tell you a little bit. I can't tell you the name of the fragrance or the theme or anything as of yet, because it hasn't been officially announced. But since Harrods has posted the event, which I'm going to be attending in London on August 9th. I'm sorry, not August 9th, on August 29th. Those of you that live in London that want to come and meet me, the brand owners, Andrea and Chiara, and the perfumer I worked with, Julian Rascanet, please make some time and do it. And the thing is, it's very limited space, but the also problem is Harrods is charging. I think that's one of the ways that they can keep from too much of a crowd showing up. And after speaking to the brother and sister Andrea and Chiara about the event space, the event space is very small, so space is very limited. If you'd like to meet me, Julian Rascanet, and the founders of Jusbox, jump on it now. I have a link in the info box, because this will fill up very, very fast. So going back in time, I was asked to collaborate on a project, and Andrea and Chiara mentioned that they work with two perfumers. Two perfumers I had the choice of working with, and I was like, two perfumers that I really admire. Dominique Ropion was one of them, because they do a lot of fragrances with Dominique Ropion. These are Jusbox fragrances, by the way. And then also, Julian Rascanet was another perfumer. So I was like, I really love Dominique Ropion's fragrances, but he's done so much stuff. I want to work with somebody younger, and I want to, get their name out there. So I decided to go with Julian Rascanet, because I thought he does some really great work. I really enjoyed it, and I've been a big fan of Dominique Ropion already. I've spoken a lot about him, and so I felt like going with the younger perfumer might be a little more interesting. So Jusbox Gang asked me personally to come up with the idea. So it was my concept to create this fragrance. It was, of course, music inspired, and you're going to find out more about the actual fragrance and the inspiration once the actual fragrance is announced officially. but they asked me come up with an idea, and I did. I love music, by the way, and I did work in the music business for over 20 years, more connected to moving pictures and film and television, but it was mostly involving, music tracks and placements and legal and things like that. So when I got this opportunity, I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity to do something that I really love, perfume and music together. But with this project, I'm not taking the influencer role. This is just more of a creative director role here. And so I just assisted Andrea and Chiara of Jusbox and worked really closely with Julian Rascanet to create this fragrance. So the 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 requirement was the brand wanted something that smells modern and not classic. And so my inspiration is a bit on the classic side, but we came up with a great fragrance that's very modern, and I think you guys will enjoy. But going back to when I first decided to work with Julian Rascanet, there was some things going down. I found out as soon as I decided to work with Julian that we couldn't work with him for a while because he worked for IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances, but he had just given his notice and he left to go work at CPL Aromas. But because he worked at IFF and he was leaving, there was something that he couldn't work on any projects for a while. So we were basically just waiting around because it was in the spring that I started, the concept and idea, and then we had to wait until I believe September of last year to really start receiving mods. And so the first time we had a meeting with Julian and the Juicebox team was in Cannes when we went to the show there called TFWA, Duty Free. It's a perfume show, but more duty free related. A lot of perfume brands go there, niche houses and things like that. And there's an inside area and then an outside area, which is more, apartments and hotels where brands take over and you can go meet them. But I had meetings, and the first few mods weren't going anywhere. It wasn't really what I was digging, but I spent a whole day at CPL Aromas back in January of this year going through so many mods. We went through a lot of mods for this fragrance. And again, I won't say what it is until I'm officially allowed to announce it. And the only reason I'm doing this video now because I'm surprised to see the event listed on the Harrods website. And I wasn't even told that the event was posted there, and Juicebox Gang didn't even know. So the event was posted there by Juicebox's distributors in the UK. So let's see, am I missing anything else? But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a fragrance launching. I assisted Juicebox to create this fragrance. It was my idea. I was looking for something that Juicebox hadn't done yet. It is a music-themed brand. They do, genres and famous singers and bands, but they hadn't done this particular theme. So I decided to go with this theme. Stay tuned to find out what it is, and stay tuned to find out a little more about the fragrance. But to give you an idea of the fragrance, it does involve two of my favorite notes, patchouli and vanilla. So those two are pretty much prominent, but in addition to those notes, we've got tobacco, cinnamon, and it has ambery touches, and it goes a bit milky. Some people do find a little bit milkiness than other people, and some people find it a bit honeyed. But launching in the fall, I think it's going to be perfect during the holidays. It's not tobacco vanille. It's more patchouli. The patchouli is pretty standout. The vanilla is pretty standout. It's very warm and it's very comforting, but also loud. And we finally settled on this because the fragrance was going in a little bit of a different direction, but we moved it into a little bit more of a modern direction. And so we also worked with a couple of concentrations. And so finally the stronger concentration won because it made the fragrance a bit more rough which I liked, and brought out the tobacco-ish touches more in comparison to the other concentration, which was a bit more gourmand. So this one has slight animalic touches and slight sweatiness, but I think the gourmand touches really cover that stuff up. And I'm very, very excited to share the fragrance with you guys. Again, as I said, I'm not taking the influencer approach. In fact, I don't consider myself an influencer. I basically started doing YouTube reviews way before there were influencers, going back 12 years ago. And I just really do videos for the passion and love of fragrances. And when I got the chance to do this project, I got really excited. But the thing is, when this project came, I was actually looking for a project like this. So I personally approached a brand to do a project. And that particular fragrance I started working on before this fragrance. And I had to tell the Jusbox gang that I'm already working on a fragrance. But sadly, that fragrance is a bit stalled. Hopefully that'll launch by the end of the year or by the beginning of next year. But in the meantime, it's this fragrance for Jusbox. And again, I'm so excited this fragrance is launching. I'm excited it's launching sooner than later because initially it was supposed to launch at the end of the year. But one thing led to another and is now coming, and it's exciting. So let me know your thoughts on what I've told you so far. Are you excited to get your nose on this fragrance? The thing that's going to happen is there's this Harrods event in London. It is the 29th of August, and it's from 6 to 7 p.m. And I believe Harrods is charging £30 per person. Is it £30? And space is very limited, and I think there was only like 25 spaces available, so not a lot. And the room that it's being held in is very small, but apparently it's a really nice room. So I'll be flying to London just before the event, and do this event, and we'll see what happens with this fragrance. But again, really, really excited. And once it launches globally, because it is going to be a 1-month exclusive at Harrods, and I'm excited for that. And it's a great place for it to be exclusive, and there'll be a huge audience for that fragrance there. A lot of Middle Easterners coming and shopping for fragrances, and I was trying to appeal to the Middle Eastern crowd, but it wasn't necessarily a Middle Eastern style. I know I didn't want that because the inspiration doesn't do that. So there's no oud here, there's no saffron and rose and things like that. It's more patchouli, it's more vanilla, and it's very, very intense, and just the kind of fragrance I really like. So yeah, in addition to the Harrods event, there will be a few more additional events here in the States, and I will notify you guys as soon as I find out about them. They're not set in stone yet because, again, I just found out about this Harrods thing. I didn't even realize it was there until I saw the events. Thankfully, I get emails from Harrods. There was a lot of other events and a lot of other perfumers there. Even one of the events involved Dominic Ropion. So I guess he's going there for an event, and there's a bunch of events. I don't know if you guys follow Harrods, but check it out. Those of you that are in London or nearby, check out the events. I think there's some great things happening. But if you are nearby and you want to meet me and Julian Rascanet and the founders of Jusbox, take advantage of the event and book your space, because it's a very, very few seats available. In fact, by the time this video airs, hopefully there will be a space available for you guys. I don't think it's going to run out because nobody's really publicizing it, but once I get this video up, it will really be publicized. And if you're, like I said, if you're in London, you want to meet, please come by and let's meet, and let me show you this new fragrance from Jusbox that I really worked my butt off on, because it got a little challenging. I was being very picky. I had a lot of declines on the different mods I was getting, and I wanted it to be something that I really enjoy myself, rather than something that somebody passes on and I say, okay, let's do that kind of a thing. So it had to be a fragrance that I really loved, and I love the way it smells on me. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching this video. It is very exciting. I'm excited for this to launch, and I will notify you guys further once it officially launches, and anything that I can do to let you know that it's selling and things like that. I don't know the official date it's going to be at Harrods, but I believe it's August 20th. So those of you that are there, you can get yourself a bottle. Just go and check it out. Again, they look like these bottles. This is Carioca Heart, the last Jusbox fragrance. Did you guys get your nose on this one? This is also created by Julian Rascanet. And the thing with this one is fruity. It has great trail, and in the heat, this thing comes alive. It's amazing. And the one that I worked on with Julian is very warm and spicy, so it's got a lot of like gourmandish touches, but it also has that whole earthy, dark patchouli characteristic. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more info on this Jusbox fragrance I worked on with Jusbox and Julian Rascanet. Other than that, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.